Start it recording because we don't want to waste time. People will have to listen to the beginning because we have a guest on and I do not want to waste her time. So this is my new dear friend, Nicole, that I am super excited about. She is a beast at recruiting. She is on her way to Emerald, and I cannot wait for her to share her tips and her tricks on what she's doing right now to gain momentum, to gain in her business, and just hear what she has been doing, where her journey has been and where it's going now, because we all have a story, right? We all know where we have started, but it takes turning points to get us to where we're going, right? And so I cannot wait for you to hear from her and hear kind of where she's at and how she got there. So Nicole, take it away, and thank you so much, my friend.
Of course. Thank you so much, Cassie. I'm so excited to be here, you guys. I was so excited that Cassie asked me to join you guys tonight. So I'm going to share a little bit of my story, and I'm sorry, I'm like a talker and I'm like a squirrel. So it's like a million side stories, but eventually I get to the point. So sorry. So I actually heard about Plexus for the first time from a parent in my classroom. I was a teacher for many, many years. I taught kindergarten, and my sponsor, who you guys, I think have met because I think she's spoken on one of your team calls, Christina. Christina was a parent from my classroom. I taught her, she has 4 kids. I taught her 2 youngest kindergarten, and she had given me samples that I lost. And I was literally, it's like our joke. I was like, I was the worst. Don't be me. I'm so sorry. Because now I realize doing what we do, and she had given me 2 weeks of samples, like what that actually meant. But I lost them, and I ended up actually signing up just to support her. I was like, I'm too healthy for this. I work out. I eat really well. I don't need your drink, but I'll buy the everyday wellness pack. And I literally signed up with a welcome pack just to support her and continue to like commission qualify every month because I understood her comp plan enough to know that like that was helpful to her. But the products like sat in my cabinet for months and months and months. And then finally one day I was like, I have such a bad headache, and I attributed it to being on the computer all day with virtual learning. I was like, I have such a bad headache. And she was like, can you please just drink a Slim? And I was like, oh, fine. So I drank the Slim, and I literally started to feel so much better. And then when I started to consistently use the products, I noticed so many differences. Like I'm sure you guys have all seen with my sleep and my energy and my headaches. And I just started to feel better. And at the time I had 2 children, and I was terrified of having a third, terrified of ever entering into that again, because I had suffered so badly with postpartum anxiety and depression after the birth of my second baby. So when Plexus found me, I had just kind of started to come out of, with a lot of coping mechanisms, that battle. And I was like, nope, 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 never. I'm never going back to that place. So when I started Plexus, I got into the best shape of my life. I started to feel incredible. And we got pregnant with our 3rd baby. And from the second that I got pregnant with him, I was like, my goodness, I need to find a way to stay home with this baby. And I dove head first into sharing Plexus, and it took off really quickly for me at first. And it was the very first summer. I started sharing in May of 2021. So it was just like my 2-year anniversary. And it took off quickly. And it was the very first summer that I didn't have to work. I had worked 6 days a week and summers as a teacher. And it was the very first summer that I didn't have to work with my kids. I got to stay home with them. And I had set this goal that I needed to find a way to be able to stay home with my baby. And when I tell you that I really put my head down and really hustled hard, I actually went Ruby the month that I had him. So I had him in March 8th, and I hit Ruby March 31st. And then things kind of like stayed the same. And I'm going to tell you about kind of what happened after that. But I was like, I need to be able to stay home with him. So I was able to maintain Ruby. I hit Ruby with like 1 gold leg. She was like 150, 160 points. And in April and May, I was able to maintain barely Ruby. And then after the launch of the reset in June, my points kind of took off. I ended at 623, and I was like, this is it. I'm going to go senior Ruby. I'm going to be able to, extend my leave. And at that point, my husband and I decided, literally just on full belief of what this opportunity could be, and just faith in what the Lord had promised us with this, I stepped out in faith and extended my leave. Really not, he had originally, my husband originally told me, like, you need to be Emerald before you do this. And I was like, okay. And I was able to kind of step out on full belief and faith. And in July, my strongest leg, who was truly my only leader, like my only leg, that was working the business, that was running, that was adding people. She went away to Italy. And then when she came back from Italy, she sent me a text message. And it was funny because I happened to be like on vacation with my upline when I got the text message. And I was like, and she can read me so well. She was like, what happened? And I was like, so I showed her my phone and she was like, she's not the one. It's fine. She's like, it's fine. She's not the one. And I was like, okay, but like, I just extended my leave at work. And she was like, Nicole, the Lord, like, you have stepped out in faith and in obedience, and this is going to be okay. And I was like, okay. She's like, just put your head down and do it. So, so I stepped out in faith, and then I ended July in like, which was like, I was like, I'm going to go Emerald by July. Like, that's what I promised my husband. Like that was like the promise that I had made to him. And then I ended at like 579 points. And then in August, I ended at 455 points. And I was like, what is happening? So Christina, who is my jewel upline and truly one of my closest friends, she went to Hawaii in September, and she came back from Hawaii like reinvigorated and ready to run. So we started meeting in September for like coaching calls. And I was like, I need to get to Senior Ruby. Like, what is happening? I'm doing all the things, like I'm showing up consistently. Like, what do I need to do to move the needle forward? And she gave me a couple tips that I started to put into place in September. The first was we took a look. She was like, you're a great recruiter and you're okay at retaining, but you're not able to duplicate that down to your people. And essentially what was happening, and I don't know if this is how any of you guys are what's happening on your teams right now, is that I was essentially like doing all the things on all my legs. So like I was doing the customer care and I was doing like all the things and I was in all the chats. And she was like, you got to take your hands off. She's like, you need to take your hands off, because essentially what's happening is you're just recruiting on different legs. You're not duplicating. That's not true duplication. So she's like, what can we do? What systems can you create that will enable your leaders to do at least 75% of your customer care with their people? So she challenged me to create an onboarding system, which I can share with Cassie. I have like an onboarding board that I use with my people. And I pass that on to my leaders. Some of them are like, no, thanks. This is like super, I just want to get my products paid for. This is super overwhelming. But the people that want to run with the business have used it and tweaked it. And it's been really, really helpful for them. So that was the first thing, like taking my hands off, letting my leaders be leaders, letting them fail forward, and not being in their business and continuing to work on my own business at the same time. Because what I found is like, I could be a really good recruiter or a really good duplicator, but like I couldn't be both at the same time. So it was finding that balance. The second thing that she encouraged me to do is to stop wasting my time on people that I wanted it more for them than they wanted it for themselves. So she was like, you want them to be your future diamonds. She's like, but that's not what they want. And you can't want it for them if they don't want it for themselves. And that was one of the best pieces of advice that she gave me. She's like, you want them to be your leaders and you don't have any other leaders. So like, you're just going to hyper focus on them. And I am so grateful that she was so real with me and was like, stop wasting your time. Because had I continued, and we had this realization kind of together when we were at Gold School at the beginning of May, that if I had continued to pour into and hyper focus on legs in my business that were not, they weren't doing the things, and I would have missed out on some of my most incredible leaders that are with me right now, because I wouldn't have offered them the business. I wouldn't have poured into them or pushed them. My current strongest leg, she's incredible. Her name is Tracy. She came to me in September when we're doing all these things, 4 kids vitamins. That's all she wanted. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I would love to give you kids vitamins. I can sell you 4 kids vitamins and give you a promo code or whatever, because I wanted her to be at 100 PV. I was like, I'll sell you 4. She had 3 kids. It wasn't like I was hoodwinking her. I was like, I'll sell you 4 bottles of kids vitamins. And when I fought for her to order a welcome pack, you guys, the health changes that this woman has seen. She has suffered almost her whole life with Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. Her testimony is incredible. And to think, if I had not continued, and something in me, it was the Lord that was pushing me to be like, keep going, keep asking her if she wants this pink drink, keep asking her. Offer her a code, all the things. Like, I just keep thinking, like, I don't even know. I'm just so incredibly grateful that I continue to do that. So that's the other thing. And then also what I started to do is she's like, listen, you want to be this incredible leader. And she's like, and you have it in you, but you need to do the things to build your leadership skill set so that when your leveled up leaders come to you, you can steward them well. So I started to, read all the John Maxwell. I don't know if you've read like 5 levels of leadership. The more leveled up of a leader you are, the higher level of leaders you're going to attract into your business. The 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. And then Brittany Howard actually has a video series that goes along with that. That is so, like, I would read the chapters and then I would watch her video series, and she makes it like more plexusy, which is awesome. So I loved that too. So, and then I started to look for opportunities to lead on our larger team page, like looked for opportunities, like what were some things that I could do. I started to run our messenger events. I started to like do a bunch of things so that I was building my leadership skills so that when my leaders came to me, I was ready. So those were the things that we kind of put into place. And then we would meet every single Monday. And we still do, but we've added some people into it. But we meet every single Monday to pray for all the things in our life, but to specifically pray for our businesses, to pray for our leaders. And our prayer was, Lord, bring us the people that are meant to do this with us, the people whose lives are meant to be changed by what we have to offer, the people that are looking, Isaiah 61 has been like very much put, we all have these beauty for ashes tattoos. Isaiah 61 was put on our hearts this year in one of our prayer sessions. And it just keeps resounding like, this is the year of the Lord's favor. This is the year where the captives will be set free. And this is for freedom, right? This is kingdom work. The last person not the last person, she's somebody that I signed up this weekend. I had done this like Bible takeaway on the book of Daniel. I'm like a newer believer. I grew up Catholic. I don't need to get into that whole story, but anyway, I'm like, this is my very first experience with the Bible. And I had done this like Bible takeaway on the book of Daniel that I had read. When I was talking to her on Saturday, we were just having like a normal conversation. And I was just telling with her how much I loved Plexus, because when we were at Gold School, Jen Hawkins was giving a training on mindfulness and on like mindset and belief. And every single thing that she said was backed up by Bible. Everything was through a biblical lens. And I was like, I just love that the top leaders of our company, everything is backed by truth. It is backed by the Bible. And she literally said to me, she was like, okay, I'm ready to hear about Plexus. And it was just so incredibly amazing to me to see like how we are able to use this platform, not only to set people free from the health and wellness struggles that they're facing and financial freedom, but also to show them Jesus. Like sometimes we're the first version of Jesus that so many people are seeing and getting to know. And I just think that that's such an incredible privilege, but that was a sidebar. All of that to say that, so we started praying for our leaders, that the Lord bring us our leaders, that we be able to steward them well, that we be given vision and wisdom and be able to guide them in this. So those were, that was what we started doing in September. And in October, I had with the Nikes, the custom Nike contest, I had so many people start sharing. And that's when Tracy started sharing. That's when Faith, who is somebody that had signed up when I very first started, I used to teach with her. She fast started gold. It was just like this incredible month of momentum. And I went from ending at 502 in September to ending at 614. And then I hit senior ruby in November. And last month I ended at almost 900 points. So it's been like this incredible momentum that had started from those changes that we made in September. And I just want to encourage you all that the desires that are in your heart for this business, whatever it is that has been placed on your heart for this business, that is not by accident. That has been given to you on purpose and for a purpose. And I just wanted to encourage you to step into that and to take up your space, to be able to share boldly what we have been given, the opportunity that we've been given. I mentioned the business opportunity to every single person that signs up. And I literally say this, no worries. I don't know if this is for you or not. No worries if it's not, but I'm not stewarding this well if I don't tell you about it. And most people say, no, thank you, not at this time. But then I at least have already mentioned it to them. I planted that seed and we can circle back to them at a later date. And it's just being able to like put your head down, hustle hard. And while you're waiting for your leaders to come, while you're waiting for your business to take off, be your own rock star. Do the things to be your own rock star. And some of the biggest things, I guess, that have helped me with recruiting, I would say, is consistency. Obviously, consistency trumps intensity every single day. So consistency and consistently expanding my network. So some things that I've done to expand my network is like, I have like a 5 mutual friend rule. So if there's people on Facebook that I have 5 mutual friends with, if they're not Plexus people, I will add them. And some people, like, again, some people friend me, some people don't, and I'm never offended by that, but I'm doing my job at trying to expand my network. Hosting in-person events, that's something that's been like big for our team. I hosted my first in-person event in September, and I'm like a pretty extroverted person. And Christina was like, okay, you got to host an in-person event. And I was like, no, thank you. And she was like, no, you need to do it. And I was like, I don't think I need to do it. I think I'm fine not doing it. And she continued to kind of challenge me with that. And we've had so much fun with some of the ones that we've done. I know Cassie did something similar. We kind of stole her idea. We did a boards and blends party. We did a paint and sip. So I had one of my friends from school that was an artist come. This was around Christmas time, and we painted wine glasses, and it was so much fun. And it was just an awesome opportunity to kind of socialize and get people to like know about Plexus. So those in-person events are awesome. But then also something that I always we tell our team a lot is like the friends that you meet in person, to transfer them to social media friends too. Because my main marketing platform, I mean, I am in person and I feel like I live my Plexus life very out loud, but my main marketing platform is my social media. So if I'm meeting people in person, I always hand them my phone and I'm like, hey, are you on Facebook? And then we connect on Facebook. And that is how I just try to continue to expand my network, because you guys, when we're continuing to expand our network, we never run out of people to talk to. And just coming at this with like Genevieve always says, like, don't be weird, but coming at this with a servant's heart, right? So I know that what I'm offering is a gift. I have a gift to offer. And if somebody doesn't want my gift, that's okay. That's on them. But my job is to offer it. And I truly feel that no is like, not right now, not yet, because I've had so many people that have been like, no. My own family who they called, they were not the biggest supporters of my career change and things like that. But they used to call Plexus Slim Jesus juice. So they're truly something else. But currently, this just happened within the last few months. My sister started to use the products, and my dad, and they have both had incredible results. And so when I say that, like, no is just not yet. It's truly not yet. And then the one other thing that I wanted to say is, or two other things. The other one is overcoming objections. So I did like a training on this for our team, but what I kept coming back to is most of the time, you guys, the biggest objection that we have to overcome is like our own brain. What we tell ourselves, our belief about all of these things. I don't want to say this. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be too pushy. I'm so nervous. We get in our own way so much that one of the biggest objections that we need to overcome is our own mindset. You know, this business is 80% mindset, 20% skill set, which can all be learned. So once we can overcome, like, diamond documentaries, get on, I know we have an ad tag message, like our customer support page, read testimonies, get on there and read business testimonies, build your own belief so that when you share this boldly, it's coming from a heart of like, this can change your life. And when you're coming at it and showing up in that way, it's just so different and it doesn't feel weird. And then the other thing that I'm super big on is stating your goal. I message Christina, like, and it's funny because I'm like, this is a really deep thought for 6:43 in the morning, or like whatever. I reach out to her. If she doesn't hear from me by 8, she's like, did you die? So I reach out to her first thing in the morning. I was like, this is my goal. And it's usually this like very large goal. I always over goal it. Like I just say, I go for it. And I set these very big goals because I am a firm believer of that, life and death is in the power of the tongue, right? So when the things that we say have power, and when we put these goals out there, it's driving our action, right? So you think it, you speak it, you act, it happens. So the words that we have power. So I share them because I know that she'll hold me accountable to them, and then it drives my action. So those are my things, except I have one more thing. Sorry. The last thing is that you guys have been brought here for a purpose. This is an opportunity that has been given to you. You're brought here for a purpose, and I want to challenge you to truly steward that well. You know, we pray for the Lord to bless the work of our hands, but we want to make sure that the Lord, like my affirmation every day is that, Lord, I will put my hand to the plow, and I pray that you bless and multiply the work of my hands and the work of my leaders' hands. So he moves when we move. So if there's so much month left, I'd love to see like what your guys' goals are for the rest of the month. There is so much month left. There's like 8 whole days left in this month. And I can't wait to see how it takes off. We haven't even hit Magic Week yet. I'm just super, super excited.
I love it, Nicole. Oh my gosh. Okay, everybody, literally share your goals. Let's see it in the chat right now. Share your goals for this week. And then I have a question, then ask any questions that you need or would love to get asked. I know that I have one that I typed up so I wouldn't forget, but keep sharing your goals first. I want to hear them. And if you want to pop in, share it out loud, because that is even more meaningful than you typing it out, because you're actually being accountable to 10 other people too.
Amazing. Samantha, is this your first time hitting silver? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. That's amazing. And you get a cool shaker cup too. That's fun.
She's killing it.
That's amazing.
I'm so proud of her. And then Joya, she said, sign 2 more and grow 2 to go silver and 1 to go gold. And then Shara said, help 2 more get started and help 1 go silver. I love it.
Amazing, you guys. These are awesome. If you guys haven't been to Gold School, by the way, it is, oh my goodness, we just went in May. It was incredible. It was so fun. It was incredible training for, like, we sat at tables with like somebody that was a diamond re-entry. Like, it is incredible. Celeste was there. Like, it's incredible training for anyone at every single level. And like this amazing carpet that's rolled out for all of it. Like the plexus spoiling. I got to go to Ruby's on the Rise and it was the best. So Gold School's incredible.
Yeah. And so there's a couple people that are even brand new on here. So some of you might not even know goals or anything like that. So like silver, you guys, that's 3 people. That's an incredible first goal. Gold School is where when you hit gold in the company, Plexus actually takes you get exclusive invite to this amazing training that's only for you. So you actually have till the rest of the week, the end of the month, to earn that and get special treatment at convention. So if you hit it now and you help somebody go gold, you and that guest or you and that person that you helped go gold get to go to convention, like a red carpet experience as well. So you have until the end of the week to have that experience at convention too. It's so much fun. Me and Julia got to go last year.
Yeah, so you were there too. It's so crazy, like how you go to all these things together and then you never actually meet each other.
Meet up. I know. I was a dancing fool. Just letting you know. You probably were like, "Oh my gosh, who's that girl?" But
I was like 3 months postpartum and I had the baby with me, so that was like I was like very distracted.
yeah, I could imagine. Uh, Okay, Aaron said, learn how to get out of my own way, whatever that looks like. Yes, I think that's the one thing that normally stops us because we can be so selfish in this industry. Like, well, what if somebody thinks, that I'm this horrible person? Or what if I share wrong? Or what if I post this and whatever? And it's like, if you take yourself out of the situation and you are really, truly empowering other people with what you do, that will never, ever stop you.
Amen. And something else that the question I always ask myself if that lie starts to creep into my head is, where would I be had Christina not shared with me over and over and over again? You guys, I don't even know that I'd have another baby. Like that is how much this has impacted my life. Like, where would I be? And that's what I always go back to. And I'm like, no, send that message. Like, where would you be had she not told you about this?
Yeah. Oh, so good. Okay, so I have a couple questions that I know that some might want to know.
Okay.
What did I say? Okay, I wrote it down. Would love to know how you shared with others to help them cast the vision on sharing right away, or even had them start sharing. What was that vision? How did you cast that?
So I like have a very informal ask. And it's just like literally when I first started getting people to share, it was like the Nike month, or we had all of those like really fun incentive months back to back. And I was like, hey, your results are amazing. You're loving the products. Would you be open to like sharing? And if you share and get 3 people to sign up, that's like $300 and a pair of custom Nikes. So it was just like this very informal, like wasn't getting them to diamond tomorrow. It was literally just like, hey, I love to help people get the cost of their products covered. And I know that you're loving this and the holidays are coming up. Like if you share a post, I can help you earn $300. And then depending on where that went, and then some people that's all that they want to do. They want to just get the cost of their products covered. They want to add 3. They're like your prize bucket people, like Genevieve talks about. But like, that's basically what I would do. Is just like this very quick, informal ask. And then when people started to share, I would give them other directions. And if they would follow those directions, I would be like, okay, maybe this is somebody I'm going to pour a little bit more into. They're coachable. They want to do the things. And that's kind of how I found my leaders. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that answers your question. Actually.
No, it does. It does. And I think that a lot of us are really good at that too right now. What do you do events or anything like that for brand new people, or how do you help them gain those 3 pretty quickly?
Yeah, so we do a Silver and 7 messenger chat every month in that we run. So that's like a good place to kind of plug people into. We do pop-up messenger events every week, and one of them is a referral link chat. And then I always offer for my people that are looking to share. I always say like the first step is to make a post, tag me in it, and then we kind of go from there. And then I offer to run like a private messenger event for them. And they can invite their people, and then it's just a quick way for them to get information. And then we do 3-way chats after that.
Awesome. Okay. So you're seeing right now that messenger events are working better than groups?
Yes, that's what we've been doing. And that's what we've seen the most. We do reset groups. And then Tracy, she's like incredible. She had like watched a training video and decided to do a group with our messenger event stuff. And she was like, we'll see if it works. And she kind of just like did it and added a bunch of potentials in there and like sent some samples out and things like that. But we've seen the most success and the most duplication from the messenger events.
Okay, good to know. And then I asked below that would be your recruiting methods then. So like you have your Silver and 7, which we have a Silver and 6 that Jessica Heffley gave us. So we have that. But we need to do that again here soon. But you said you do those monthly?
Yeah, we do the Silver and 7 once a month. And they've been like, I would say I'd say they're underutilized, because there's people that are like, I want to develop a silver, like in our goals. And I was like, put your people in the silver and 7, you know what I mean? So I feel like they're a little bit underutilized, but we have seen, me personally, I have seen a lot of success from them. And it's essentially just something that I kind of created from a bunch of different things that I had seen, and I just made a board of it. And it's like just one call to action and a video of me sharing the call to action or some verbiage or some wording about the call to action. So we do that once a month. We started that, I think I would say like maybe it was November when we did the first one. But yes, and we do the messenger events once a week. Every Thursday we have messenger events.
I love that. And I think that most times things don't take off. It takes a good 6 months to a year for systems to finally get into play. And that's when it's don't quit on things. So like we just started doing messenger events every Thursday night for potentials. And then we're doing coaching calls now on Thursday nights. We always have our team calls on Tuesday. So getting into systems, you guys, is huge, especially plugging your people into something, like make them feel a part of the community. And that's how you retain. And not being shy about sharing this amazing opportunity, because you never know their financial struggle. And if you're withholding that, just like Nicole said, she boldly like puts it out there, withholding some of that information could truly be a blessing to them. If you're terrified, again, take yourself out of it. And if you put them in the pocket first, like they are the priority, then you won't worry at all.
Absolutely. And I too was like really wanted to be a part of the community. And I knew that like Christina had this leaders thread for silver and above. And I wanted I'm telling you, like that was more motivating to me than the money. I was like, I want in on that leaders thread. Like I want to be a leader. I want to be in there. So that was also super motivating. So if money isn't always it, like it's the community is such, and the Plexus it is so special. So special. And the community was huge for me.
And I think right now, usually about now, you are either thinking that you can't hit your goals, it's too far away, there's only a week left and whatever. And I feel like that's another thing we don't tap into is the plowing, the harvest, the things that God has called us to do that we're like, we'll just work till next month, or we'll just work on it next month. And other things are priority right now. Things are just, too much. I'm overwhelmed or whatever. What would you tell people right now for that?
Me? I would say this month is just getting started. And I would say, you guys, I was talking to my husband today because I am running for Emerald with everything that I have. But if I told you my points right now, you'd be like, you're crazy. I'm at 600 points right now. And I'm like, won't he do it? I know what subs I have. I know what's coming up. I know my team. And it is going to be, it's going to be an incredible testimony to look what the Lord has done. But I was looking at my points from last month because I track my points every day. That's like Christina had me start doing that when I was like a gold ambassador. So I track my points. She's like, I know you're serious. You're going to want this information. So I track my points. I track my like total points, my outside leg points, my commission qualified level ones, how many personal ads I have and team ads. And I've been tracking my cruise credits currently. So, I was looking at, and then it's fun to see like, okay, this is where I was on the 28th. And this is where I ended the month. And you guys, on the 30th, so last month only had 30 days. I was like, how many days were in the month? On the 30th of last month, I woke up at 810 points and I ended the month at 893. So like the growth that you can have just in one day, this month is just getting started. We have free shipping, which is incredible. We have all of these awesome products. We have the last chance page. We have we're doing a reset group on June 5th. So I'm literally inviting everybody like, hey, literally the messages that I'm sending are like, okay, reset on June 5th. You want in? And people can be like, no, thanks, not this time, like whatever. Just informally reaching out to people. It doesn't have to be this 9-paragraph thing. It's just like, hey, I'm doing a reset. You want to do it with me? And so many people are like, yeah, I'm in, or that sounds great, or no, thanks. But just like this month I tell this to my team every time, like there is so much month left, like so many days.
Now we're doing an accountability group right now. And so if you guys don't know that, tomorrow's the last day to order for that. And so what we're using is Plexus is doing a challenge right now, a slim down challenge. So we're tapping into that and we're adding people into a messenger chat, and we're going to be encouraging people for the next 2 weeks in that chat. And tomorrow's the last day to order. So make sure, just like Nicole said, like, hey, I'm doing this accountability chat. I don't know about you, but I need some accountability before this summer. I don't know what your accountability looks like, but mine looks like this. Would you like to join me? I mean, you don't even have to explain what it is. It's like, I just need to stop eating pretzels. Who wants to join me? Like, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
And
then people will be surprised at who is like, send me more info. Like you never know unless you ask. You never ever know. And you guys, with double credits for Leaders Retreat, another side story. So I earned Leaders Retreat last year, but it was in March, and I had a baby in March, so I couldn't go. And it was going to be my very first Leaders Retreat. I had just started like the May before, so it was my very first Leaders Retreat. And you guys, the FOMO, and I like was hormonal. It was a mess. Like the FOMO that I experienced from that, I was like, there is no way I am ever missing a trip again. And that has been like very much driving me in this contest. But you guys, every single person that you recruit is 30 credits, 30 credits. And everyone that you maintain from March, which was iPad month, which a lot of people recruited, a lot of people, and April, like all of those people are 30 credits. It's incredible. So I'm running for the cruise. Like this is the last month I have to earn it. And then everything else is just like a cherry on top.
I agree. And I think that's another thing that we don't utilize enough of is like, don't sit on the moments you have with double credits right now and regret not taking that time to really pour in what you can when the next months come. And then you realize like, oh my gosh, I'm so far away. I should have done this during double credits. I should have done that. I should have done this. And it was a long time ago, years and years ago. It was Carrie. I think her name was Carrie. And she said, stop shooting all over yourself. Like literally stop shooting all over yourself. And it's so true and powerful when you actually put the work and the plowing in what you can do. And if you heard Nicole, did you see the boldness and the confidence that she had? She's at 600 something points and she's like, girl, I'm hitting emerald. Like it's happening. So wherever you're at in your points and you're like, oh my gosh, I really wanted to hit this, but I don't see it happening. Change this. Be so bold in that, no matter what you're going to do, it's going to happen. I know when I went emerald, I had it everywhere. And Nicole, I have to pull up my stats because I wanted to say it was about a week before I was at like 700 and people thought I was crazy. I remember Ashley Johnson even telling me like, Cassie, I literally had no idea how you were going to do it, but you were so confident in the fact that it was going to happen. I just thought you were crazy and I was just going to keep praying over you. But I knew I was going to hit it. And you guys, I hit it. Like I was dedicated. I pulled reports. I literally had highlighters for each person and saying, okay, they look like they're going to order. Okay, they are. They said they're not right now. Like I made a system when I didn't have a system. You have to figure out what works for you and how to apply those things. I know that Hannah had a comment and she said, how do you use your tracking system? Like, what does that look like for you? Like for me, it's Excel. Like I download my genealogy and things like that. So what do you do?
So for example, like currently what I'm doing in this moment, because I'm running towards a huge goal. So what I've done is I've written down every single level one, and I go through it like multiple times. So every single level one that has not ordered or does not have a subscription set, and I have them like, hasn't ordered in over 6 months. And there's like I have like a coding system. So it's like, okay. And I just like created it. It's like dot, green highlighter, yellow highlighter. And it's like, okay, this person is eligible for a new account. So that's the wording that I'm going to use when I reach out to them. Or this person might really like the reset. Or if I offer this person free shipping, they'll probably order. And if I tell this person this thing, then they'll probably order. So I just have every single level one. And then for my people that don't have a working upline, I have them written down as well. And I literally, Christina calls it like, she's like, girl, we always say like, we leave nothing on the table. Like that's our thing. But she's like, you're flipping tables to make sure there isn't something like stuck on the bottom of it. So we're like, every time I sign somebody, I just send her a GIF of somebody flipping a table. And like, that's what I'm leaving so that when the end of the month comes, I know that I have done every single thing in my power to hit the goal that I want to hit. And then, so that is how I track it. I'm like to handwrite things. That just works better for me. So I handwrite it all out and then I update it throughout. So like we're going camping this weekend. So like I have my notebook, I have all my things, I know who I've reached out to, and I do like I do like 3 boxes. So every time I reach out to them, I check it off. So I know where I'm at. And it works for me. I don't know if somebody else looked at it, they'd be like, what is happening? But for me, it works.
And I think that that's powerful to know that it just has to be a system that works for you. It doesn't have to be somebody else's system. It can be whatever it looks like to work in your head. And so if that's checking boxes, if that's highlighting people, whatever that is, it is you putting in the work to do it. And that I love how you said, like, I'm reaching out to people that haven't ordered in 6 months. Can we restart them? Because the other thing is find your people that ordered in the iPad month. Are they still ordering? Because that's 30 points if they order. Like if you just even get them to order again this month, maybe they stopped last month, you're going to get 30 points for them to reorder this month. So have those people in a category. Like it takes time, it does. But if you can work in figuring out where everybody is at, then you can create a business that is lifelong for you and creating income. The one thing that I really like to do, and I don't know if your team does this, I haven't done it in a while, but I did it the other day, was mapping your money. Like map out your money. And that is seeing where somebody is at and being like, okay, do you know that you have this many more orders? And if you had this many more orders, you'd be making this much more money. And when people see money attached, it's like, oh, okay, well, you have to write things down. When you actually write things down, you're more likely to hit the goal. I think it's 80% more likely to hit the goal because you're seeing it, you're visualizing it, and you're handwriting it. It's different than actually typing it out or saying it. So what does that look like for you guys to flip your tables this month? I'm going to put my dog outside, but I really want to hear, how do you feel about your goals? And are you going to flip tables to make it happen? Okay. Oh, Julia, I can't speak at this moment. Sitting in my kid's bedroom. No worries. But if y'all have any more questions for Nicole, like Nicole, how many has your team added this month and how many have you added this month? Because I think that's another thing is you guys, she's flipping tables. She's not leaving anything on the table. She's literally doing it all.
So the last one of my girls just signed somebody. So I think my team is at 30 ads. This month. I've personally added 10 and I'm currently at, when my points load, I'm going to be at 601 and I'm currently at 1,080 credits for Leaders Retreat.
You guys, double credits. That is how you earn the cruise this month. And don't be like, well, it's already the 23rd. I haven't had time or I haven't done this and that. Da, da, da. You still have time. What are you going to do? What is it going to look like? That girl's earning the cruise this month.
Yeah, I'm like, hit it every morning. I'm like, I have to be exhausting to Christine. I'm like, today's the day.
But I love that you're using your upline as accountability. Like every morning you're checking in with her because you are setting that goal. You're like, all right, girl, this is my goal today. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm going to make it happen. It's pretty powerful. I love that. Okay. Any other questions before we let Nicole go? I am just so glad that you came on tonight to just share your wisdom and excitement, because where you're at in your business is where a lot of these people are too. And to where it didn't happen overnight, but if you're plowing and you're using God's work and the hands that he created to do what he's called you to do, amazing things can happen.
I read something once, I'm going to try to quote it properly, but it was like, if you are making excuses to not do something that you've been called to do, you are worshiping your weakness instead of the God who has given you his power and through which you can do all things. And I was like, that is so good.
I hope you guys let that soak in. That was so good. And I think that that's the one thing that we need to start doing more. I know a lot of us do, but really praying over your business every single morning. And there was, what are you going to say every morning so that when you start your morning, that's the one affirmation that you say. And what does that look like? What does that scripture look like? What does the wording look like? So that you know when things creep in during your day, you're like, nope, my team is going to multiply this month. I am an incredible leader, XYZ. Whatever you need to say, it's something that just comes off the tongue and you're already saying it right in that moment. So think about that. But thank you again, Nicole, for coming. And you guys do not let this last chance page, like literally, this is a powerful tool for people to double up on PV. If they're at 50 PV or 25 PV, have them order several of the collagen or the bags or whatever. Use what Plexus is giving us right now to help your business. And then also double credits for Leaders Retreat. Hello. We have the accountability chat. Tomorrow is literally the last day for people to get their products in time to join our chat, so that we're going to have that and keep them accountable for that. Chats and challenges are where it's at to have people feel community and feel connected to something bigger. So are you posting about it? Are you telling customers about it? Or if you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know about it. It's okay. Now you do. Start sharing about this challenge that we're having so nobody misses out. It's your opportunity to flip tables and not let it pass by and add people so you can get on that boat and not be like, man, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. So thank you so much, Nicole.
Thank you for having me.
Powerful, my friend. Thank you guys for coming, and pray for your business tonight. It's going to be amazing. Bye, guys.